Hey guys, one of my friends was talking to me in reference one of the Bullseye drill videos that I posted, and he gave me a critique, which was very valid, that I hadn't really covered scoring and how I was arriving at the numbers I was arriving at, and valid critique. But then I realized maybe I want to back up even further and talk about the targets that I choose to shoot for my own personal practice and why I choose to shoot at them, like what benefit I think I get from them. Uh, and my purpose for going to the range is to hone my skills in case I need to use them for a lethal force encounter, owing to my profession and the people that I train. And so my perspective here is really speaking to that. There are a bunch of different reasons why people lawfully own and shoot guns. And it could just be for fun, it could be for plinking, a lot of those other things. So I don't want to discount those, but I'm not really going to speak to them. It's not my purpose. If you are serious about trying to hone your skill in the same regard that I'm talking about, the temptation is often to get a very big target. And to be clear, this target is actually pretty decent in terms of scoring area and things like that. But I see people shoot at a B27 or another very big silhouette quite often, and they shoot it at a distance that is pretty close, and they don't really concern themselves with where the hits land. This, by the way, is an ILFE qualification target. So if you're going to hold somebody to this scoring ring and this scoring ring, I don't think this is horrible. That's 7 3/4 across. The big ring is 10, and the rest of it I don't worry about too much. The problem I see with a lot of law enforcement qualification targets is that they don't score rings. They score a hit here is the same as a hit here is here. And so if all we do is shoot at very big targets and we consider in our mind that any hit is the same as long as it's within the printed outline, then we can get a inaccurate opinion of our ability with a gun. So aside from qualification, I really don't use these targets. Like the state says you got to use a qualification target, you got to use a qualification target. But if you're subject to having to qualify on a regular basis, I think I would save the qualification targets for when they break them out. Most of my shooting is done on some other targets like the B8 Bullseye. This is NRA B8 Bullseye. It's been around a really long time. I think more recently popularized or repopularized by Chuck Pressburg and Bill Blowers, who were big proponents of shooting on B8 Bullseyes, and I think I agree with them. There's a lot going for that. It really holds you to an accuracy standard, and then paired with a timer, we have a much better idea of our ability to land hits where exactly we want them to go, not close enough. So I like those targets quite a bit. And that's why the two videos that I've already posted, you see me shooting on those targets. And they're readily scoreable. So we can have, if we have a par time or a time that we shot it in, plus a numeric score, then we can sort of quantify where we are at any given moment in time in our skill range. It certainly can be used to compete with others, but for the most part, I think the most important thing is there a standard you can meet? Is there a standard you're trying to meet? Or if where you're at isn't good, you can improve it, and then you end up with a numeric number that shows if you are improving. So I like B8s. I've seen David Spalding use 3x5 cards quite a bit, and these are awesome. Much like that B8, I'm stuck to a very small target area, and anything out of this target area won't count. If you can hit this 3x5 card, you can certainly hit a tactical size target, i.e. a human target in a vital area. And he's got a lot of drills that work with cards. I'll probably play with some of those in the future. His drills are pretty challenging and they're fun. And his most recent set of them, he really tried to reel in the round count so that you wouldn't have to spend a ton of money to get some training or practice. Next, I like printed targets, especially things like Dot Torture, which you can get. I think Pistol Training and Pistol Forum have copies of this. You can download and print them out. This is a good place to start. A lot of people like to discount this target and say, well, it's not that good, not that helpful. But If you can clean this target, i.e. get all 50 rounds into the proper targets as dictated by what you're supposed to do, then your marksmanship's pretty decent. So I like these. And as a side note, I should mention Pistol Training, Pistol Forum, excellent resources for you if you're interested in getting better at the art of shooting. While that site might be predominantly geared toward pistol shooters, there are forums and discussion regarding shotguns and carbines as well. So something to look at. But so I don't hate this one. There are some others. I don't even know if this one's available anymore, but Aaron Baruga did this consistency target. And while I like it, it is ammo intensive. You're going to blow 24 rounds shooting this one time. Where its real benefit is that focus at speed. Because if I've got to land single rounds in all of these small circles, then it's very unaccepting of sloppiness. So I like that target. Next, there are a bunch of purpose-built targets out there to work on speed and cadence. Your mind is whatever you can come up with, and I'll link to several resources, but I always try and shoot at smaller targets. In addition, you can get reduced size silhouettes, and those are helpful. And it's especially helpful if you're at a range and you want to shoot at something more realistic, but you don't want to shoot at something that's too big. So whenever you have the opportunity to shoot at something, I say shoot at something smaller. And then if you're shooting at something smaller, well, then shoot at that same small thing and shoot at it faster. That is how we improve. And all the while, measure your hits in terms of score and measure your time. If you're logging all of that, then you have an exceptional idea of what it is that you are currently accomplishing, and you understand where you need to go to improve, at least numerically. If you got any questions or other suggestions, that's my general take on targets. If you ever see me at the range, absent a qualification, you will probably never see me shooting at a full-size qualification target, and rarely will you see me shoot at a full-size USPSA or IDPA target. I'm usually going to print out a reduced copy and shoot at those. That's just my take, guys. Hope you found this helpful. My next video in this series, I'm going to talk very specifically about the B8. I'm going to talk about how to score it and how to score it easily, because there's a hard way to score a bullseye style target and there's an easy way to score it. And I think some of the confusion that people have had when they've watched me score is I'm doing it the easy way, but I'm kind of doing it shorthand. So I'll explain in depth exactly what I do. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. It's a pretty short video, but if you are serious about improving your marksmanship and your accuracy at speed, then you could do worse and work on some of these targets that I've shown you. I think those are much more beneficial than just a really huge target that we just randomly poke holes in. You guys take care, stay safe, train hard.